Return to the magic library.
There's magic in a library. A different story every day. Go anywhere you want to go. Be anyone you'd like to be. Read the books upon the shelf. Find the magic for yourself. In a magic library.
Sure is weird in here tonight.
You can say that again, Norbert. It's kind of lonely and deserted.
Kind of spooky, you mean? Where's all the wind and wave noise coming from?
Look, Leon. These books are all about the sea. Little Tim and the brave sea captain. And Amos and Boris. Wonder what happens to that mouse at sea.
Here are some more books on the sea, Zazzy. The man whose mother was a pirate. I bet that's a funny story.
Zazzy! Leon! Over here! I think I found where the waves are hiding. Listen, there's a whole ocean roaring around in here.
You're right, Norbert.
I can practically see it. A rocky coast, white caps bursting on the shore.
An empty beach shivering under a cold gray sky.
Little fishermen's houses huddled together against the storms.
Once there was a boy called Michael who was walking along the beach thinking about his future. I want to be a painter, he thought. I really want to be a painter. And he looked at the green sea and the gray sand and the waves rolling in, each with a white frothing crest, the white stones on the beach, the black breakwaters, and the golden hills behind.
Who said that?
A mermaid!
From head to tail. My name is Marina, mistress of the sea. And I bring you a strange story, a story of the sea.
We want to hear more about Michael. You know, the boy on the beach who wanted to be a painter.
Very well. My story is called The Voice in the Shell by Joan Aiken.
What's a voice in a shell got to do with Michael?
I wonder.
It's got a great deal to do with Michael. Michael was walking along the beach, gazing at the green sea and the golden hills. And while he was walking, he thought, I would like to paint all that. Oh, if only I could be the best painter in the whole world. Just then, he heard a voice. I want my mom, it cried and groaned. Oh, I want my mom.
Wait! I thought you said the beach was deserted.
Well, that's what Michael thought, too. Over the whole huge flat beach, not a living soul was to be seen. He searched and hunted up and down, here and there. At last he realized the voice seemed to come out of a turtle shell not far from his foot. Out of the shell poked a head. They've taken my mom. They've taken her to the zoo. Please, won't you go and fetch her back?
Fat chance. Everybody knows you can't take animals out of a zoo.
Well, Michael tried to explain all that, but the turtle begged and pleaded. Well, take me to my mom. Oh, please do, please, please. I'll give you a wish.
This is starting to sound like a fairy tale. Characters who grant wishes.
Doesn't sound like the usual wish story to me, though. What does Michael wish for, Marina?
Well, think back. What was the one thing Michael wanted more than anything else? Can you remember?
What did he say? Oh, if only I could be the best painter in the whole world.
Did the turtle grant his wish?
Ah, well, it's a bargain, said the turtle, pulling its head back inside the shell. Only carry me to the zoo.
See? In a wish story, there's always a catch.
Michael picked up the turtle and began walking. But after a while, he noticed how very heavy the turtle was growing. He felt as if he were lugging along a sack of coal, or a box of pig iron, or a bucket filled with lead shot. At last, panting and limping and staggering and red in the face, Michael reached the zoo entrance.
How could one little turtle be so hard to carry?
But you said this was a strange story, Marina. Maybe that turtle isn't what he seems.
You're right, Norbert. He was playing a trick on Michael, because when the boy looked inside the shell, there was no turtle or anything else.
But what about the voice he heard? If it wasn't the turtles, who did it belong to?
A kelpie.
A what?
A kelpie. Of all the ugly monsters in the deep, a kelpie is the worst. It's a huge monster, all wet and hairy and whiskery and muddy and slippery and weedy and horrible. Just imagine it. It has the body of a horse and the head of a cow and 2 sets of teeth as big as gravestones and enormous web-toed feet with claws on them as well. Of course, a kelpie can disguise itself as any creature it pleases, but that's its real shape.
Yuck!
You weren't fooling when you said this was a strange story. So what happened to Michael?
He taught himself to paint, starting with the little grocery store where his father had got him a job. He painted the blue bags of sugar and the white bags of flour. He painted the brown lumps of dates and the piles of oranges, the green ginger, the yellow lentils, and the brown sticks of macaroni.
Makes me hungry just thinking about it.
After a while, people began to buy his pictures. It began to be said that Michael was the best painter in the whole world.
So Michael worked hard, and his wish came true. Is that the end of the story?
Can't be. Nothing much has happened. What do you think we have to find out before the story's over?
We need to find out if that tricky, creepy kelpie comes back.
Michael moved to a big city far from the seaside where he had grown up.
To seek his fame and fortune, I'll bet.
Yes, and there he painted all the different rooms he saw in people's houses. A room with 2 chairs in it, or a table set with cups for breakfast, or a peaceful bedroom with the bed turned down tidily and a candle burning. And each of these rooms looked so comfortable that when you saw the picture, you just wanted to step right into that room and live there for the rest of your life.
Paintings sound great. But what has the kelpie got to do with all this?
You'll see. Time rolled along, and presently Michael was to hold a big exhibition. A van came to collect all the pictures he had painted in the last few years and take them to a famous art gallery. And you may be sure that Michael went along to make certain that they had been hung up straight and all in the right order. But the first thing he gasped when he stepped into the big room was, "Who in the world has been playing the fool with my paintings?" Into each of his beautiful pictures of a room, something new had been added. Can you guess what that something was?
Somebody had got dirty fingerprints all over his paintings.
No. I'll give you a hint. It was the ugliest sight you could ever imagine.
Ugly. Wait a minute. Was it wet and hairy?
And whiskery and muddy? And slippery and weedy and horrible?
Yeah. Sound familiar?
The kelpie!
The very one. What a thing to see lolling in Michael's nicely turned down bed, or squatting by the sitting room fire with its head turned and its eyes glinting as if it were just waiting for you to walk into the room so it could gobble you up.
Poor Michael. All his work was ruined. He must have been furious.
So what did he do? What would you do if you were Michael?
Well, this is what Michael did. He ran out of the building and he jumped on a bus, which took him to a train. And on the train, he went back to the place where he had lived as a boy. Michael walked along the beach and he shouted it